All right, so I am here with Mojo, and today we are going to be doing the collab mock draft here, and we're going to have some fun with it as well. We're going to incorporate some trades in this mock as we're leading up to the NBA draft. Thanks for coming on, man, and I'm excited to see what you want your Hawks to do here with the number one pick and like what you want to see from them this offseason.
Absolutely, man. This past season as a Hawks fan has been a roller coaster for sure. I would say we are definitely in the trenches, and Adam Silver did us like a huge blessing. Big ups to you if you're ever watching this by rigging the draft and giving us the number one overall pick because we needed it bad. And although it's not like the most ideal year to have the number one overall pick, it's better off than whatever else the NBA scriptwriters had as planned for the future. So I'm happy
For sure. Yeah, so in like your perfect offseason, do you want to just kind of like add around the pieces to Trey and DeJounte? Do you want to move one of them specifically? Like, what's your ideal Hawks offseason for them?
I think it would be pretty idiotic to move Trey Young. The only circumstance in which that should be really discussed if he literally says that out loud, go ahead and trade me, or shows those signs and all this other stuff. And as of now, like, none of those things have been said by him or his camp just yet. Of course, just regular rumors from us fans and all NBA insiders and the top podcasters like the Zach Lowe's of the world. He's been pushing that propaganda since like last year, bro. So people hate Atlanta. Ranger hates Atlanta. It's all known. But me personally, if I'm like in the front office and even just as a fan, like, I think we should move as if Trey Young's going to be a part of this roster. DeJounte Murray, I don't want to hear that talk. Afterthought for now.
Yeah, I mean, like, Trae Young's been your best player in so long, and like, I could maybe see the reasoning if like he wanted out and you guys had your draft picks going forward, but you don't even have them to have like the incentivized to like tank. So I don't think there's any point in doing that. And like, Trae wants to be there. He's like the star of the city. You just build around him, which you now have the number one pick to do so. And honestly, a lot of still solid trade pieces on the team with like Capella, and if whatever happens with like AJ Griffin, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and those guys, like, you can really make this team a playoff team once again next year for sure.
Question to you. When was the last time the Atlanta Hawks have had a player as good as Trae Young?
Exactly. Like,
in your opinion,
he blows away anybody from like the Horford, Teague, Millsap era of the 10s. Dude, I don't even know. Like, is it Dominique?
God damn, it might be Dominique. We're that down bad.
I know, right? Like, it's been a minute since they had somebody like, I don't think Joe Johnson reached any peak like this. Like, it's probably Dominique.
Yeah, it's quite literally Dominique. And if you're not talking about Dominique, then we're talking about the segregation days right now, bro. So it's like, he's one of the greatest Hawks of all time. It just doesn't make any sense to go ahead and trade such a talent when we haven't had anything like this in years.
Exactly.
Generations.
So, like, I know, right? So for number one, would you like entertain the idea of trading the pick, trading down, or do you like somebody specifically?
Now, as of late, there has been so much noise and rumors about like, Donovan Clingan and him and his rise to number one. Before that, it was like Zachary and stuff like that. So I hear the Donovan Clingan noise, and I think he's a great player. I think he gives us we know what we're getting out of him. There's no real risk whatsoever. But at the same time, there is no like super mega bang for the type of player that he is. If you look at like in which direction the NBA is headed towards and what seems to be a real rarity, it's those super huge, big ass 7 foot. Oh, can I curse on this channel?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Big ass 7 footers, 7'2", 7'3", the Wembys, the Chets of the world, who can do things like guards and really like wings and move really well, block shots, and have the potential to stretch out the floor, run in transition, and all that. And although Donovan Clingan cannot do that, he's more of a Rudy Gobert type archetype with touch around the rim, I guess, and he can really he has really nice touches when it comes to his passing. Donovan Clingan is a safe pick, but in the state of it that Atlanta's in right now, I'd rather move towards Alex R. For sure.
I think so too, and I think with Sarr, obviously, like you kind of alluded to, like Clingan probably being more NBA ready than Sarr is right out of the gate, but like if Sarr's going to an environment like where there's no lead ball handler, someone that's a top 20-ish player in the league, then it's like, okay, I would be maybe a little bit worried about his development, but he would be going into such a good scenario with arguably the best passing point guard in the league, or he's up there in Trae Young, which can make his life just so much easier and further along the development, I think, at a quicker rate. So like, I'm all on Alex Sarr number one, but I don't know if the Hawks are going to do that now, which is kind of crazy.
It makes me sick to my stomach, but at the same time, like, if it happens, then it happens, and I am putting my Atlanta Hawks fandom on the line.
Yeah. No, I respect it 100%. So we're going to go Sar, number 1 overall. I would do it as well. Number 2, that leaves me with Washington. I do think, like, right now, it's probably going to be Sar and Reece Shea 1 or 2 in some type of way. So if like Reece Shea goes number 1, I think Sar goes 2. It would be a little interesting if Klingon went number 1, then maybe there's an idea like, okay, Sar can go 2, Reece Shea could still go 2. But I think with you going Sar to the Hawks, I don't really love another wing in Washington right now. Specifically, like Klingon fits such a big need, but this team is in their start of their rebuild, so they're just going for talent and upside long term. So I'm gonna go Reece Shea 2, just adding to that like forward depth that they have. But I assume they're probably going to move Kuzma this offseason, or at least explore that. So that could be kind of a nice replacement next year.
Ooh, I like that pick for them. I mean, they're not in a spot to go ahead and pick necessarily for fit. I mean, they quite literally need everything, I guess, except for the wing spots, because of Denny, and Bilal Coulibaly is like a tremendous talent who just has a lot of unknown to him. But I like that pick for sure. But I have news for you. I just got a call. You can't see me right now, but I'm waving the NBA script. Adam Silver hit me up. He's like, yo, he sent a pack through UPS, same day delivery. The Houston Rockets have made a trade.
Love it.
And it's involving the New Orleans Pelicans. The Houston Rockets with Ime Udoka have been in a win now scenario, win now tone, and that's the ultimate goal. They want to go ahead and make some real noise. They went ahead and brought in Fred VanVleet, great veteran on a short contract. Brought in Dylan Brooks, great player as well. But there's only so far that they can make it through the bloodbath that the Western Conference is right now, and they could sit down and rely on internal development, but that's pretty risky considering how deep the West is. So they see an opportunity. They see Brandon Ingram right there, and their GM, Raphael Stone, goes ahead and hits him up. The Houston Rockets offer up Dylan Brooks and the 3rd overall pick for Brandon Ingram, and it's accepted. How do you feel about that?
I like it a lot, actually. I think for the Rockets at 3, I mean, I like the idea of Mikal Bridges there. There's been talks about maybe if they could actually get Donovan Mitchell, you pull it off. But, I mean, if you're doing Brooks and number 3 for Ingram, I would do that 10 times out of 10 for them, because I think they could use a perimeter guy with Jalen Green. I still think being in limbo what he's going to be long-term for them, if they re-sign him or not. But this team went, 41-41 last year, 40-42. Like, they have a chance to make the playoffs in the Western Conference, and this could be a win-now move for them. They still have some younger guys that are cheap on the team right now. So I like that for them. They go out and they move 3 and Dylan Brooks. And, like, I think for New Orleans, too, you're getting a nice rotational piece back in Dylan Brooks. They have the defensive identity there, and I think getting number 3 could be huge for them, entering kind of like a retool phase as well. So, yeah, that puts the Pelicans at number 3, who they traded Ingram for.
Now, for the Pelicans, of course, Dylan Brooks is a great piece, but you got to be out of your goddamn mind to think that he is the centerpiece of this. No. They see 1'6'3". Really, he's like 6'1". I interviewed Reed Shepherd with my guys like literally last month. Him and I are the same height. I might be a little bit taller than him. He's a little bit shorter, but that doesn't matter considering the ratchet that he has on him. One of the best shooters, probably in my opinion, I would say he is the best shooter out of this draft class. And with how people talk about him, I feel like they talk about him as if he's like super limited because of, his physicals and all that. But I think his out of the edge skills, like his passing, the defense, and just the playmaking, really, he's just a playmaker. He just makes things happen. His ability to do that, I think that raises his ceiling to be a high-level starter in this league, and I think the Pelicans see that. They're done with the CJ McCollum days. They're going to look to probably move off of him as well, and they're investing everything into Reed Shepherd.
Dude, I love that a ton, because I've never had the chance to really figure out Shepherd in New Orleans unless they make a trade. And getting someone like you said that could replace CJ McCollum, they haven't had like a true point guard in so long. And I think Shepherd is the best shooter in this class, and he's going to be so consistent and efficient. He can get Zion the ball and can kind of lead this retool phase, because he could be a point guard as well. And then you have Herb Jones next to him, and now Dylan Brooks that can help him out defensively, and Dyson Daniels, where you can kind of hide those deficiencies for him on that end of the floor. So I actually love love the idea of Reed Shepherd in New Orleans. I'm a fan of that deal.
I love it. I love it. Now, I do have a little bit of concerns about Reed and his playmaking ability full time for what Zion and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones needs, but I'm just seeing that through, and this is just a better trade that will hopefully put them in a better direction compared to where they were a couple months ago.
Definitely. So I'm also going to be trading a pick here at number 4. We are going to have the Cleveland Cavaliers move up to number 4 with the San Antonio Spurs, and this is going to be the Darius Garland destination. We're going to have the Spurs figure out maybe at 4. They have plenty of options for a point guard here, but they want the sure thing in Darius Garland, who we have no idea what the future for him is in Cleveland this offseason. Will it be him, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen that can go, one of those guys specifically, and they are going to make a deal that's going to involve pick 4 going to Cleveland. So Cleveland now has 4 and 20 in this draft. They'd be getting Keldon Johnson, and they'd also be getting a future Hawks pick down the line as well. What's your feeling about Garland playing with Wemby in San Antonio, and should they pull that off?
I love that so much because Garland, he offers you the same exact things that a lot of people were raving about. They were talking about Trae Young to San Antonio. Garland offers you pretty much the same exact things, maybe on a little bit lower scale because he's not as prolific as a shooter and passer or whatever. But in general, he's picture perfect fit. There's really no bad fit with Victor Wembanyama, and really it's just about like the San Antonio Spurs and their overall like roster construction outside of Wemby, and Darius Garland just raises your ceiling all around, except for defensively, of course. But when you have Jeremy Sohan, who's a solid defender, and obviously Wemby, he's probably the best defender in the NBA right now as we speak, one of the 3 at bare minimum, I think you'll live with those deficiencies. I love that trade.
Definitely. And I think, like if Garland's actually on the market this offseason, they can get a nice return from San Antonio, and San Antonio has the assets to pull it off. So that means at number 4, I'm going to stick with Stephon Castle here. We're going to get them someone that could play the 1, but could also be more of a wing. They can get better defenders on the perimeter as well. I think upgrades defensively over like Strus or LeVert, and someone that could also transition into your franchise point guard next to Donovan Mitchell going forward. So they basically get Garland, they get Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, and a future first-round pick for Darius Garland, which puts you on the clock with the Pistons at number 5.
Ooh, the Detroit Pistons at number 5. Now, this is not the most ideal pick for literally the worst team in the entire NBA. Number 1 or 2 would have been perfect for them, but sadly they're at number 5. They just recently fired their head coach, Monty Williams. Tragic for him, but also finesse of the century, $65 million just to sit at home. God, he has a great life. But if I'm the Detroit Pistons, at this point in time, you just need someone who can like shoot the ball, and I think you don't want to go too raw, and someone who gives you the best of both worlds is Dalton Knecht. I like him a lot. He perfectly fits at the number 3 spot for the Detroit Pistons. They have a really gaping hole there as well, and I think someone like them, you need to buy in on someone who can solidify and help build some type of identity and just be competent around Cade Cunningham, because we've yet to see many quality players surrounded around him yet. So I like Dalton Knecht at number 5.
Me too. It helps Cade so much next year. And like, yes, there's higher upside than some of these other guys, but you may have to wait 3 to 4 years on that. And I don't know if they have that timeline for Cade. Like, they need to be better next year. And drafting somebody else that can't shoot, that's maybe inconsistent on the defensive end of the floor, is a big risk. So I'm a huge fan of Knecht. I've been mocking that a ton. That leaves me Charlotte at 6. They would be an interesting clinging team as well, because like they could just try to get best player availables on the board like all around, but they do have Mark Williams, who's had his injury concerns. But I think I'm gonna go with them here. I think I'm gonna go Matas Buzelis. They get someone that can have the athleticism to match up with Brandon Miller. He's got a lot of big ifs to his game for sure, but if he develops his outside shot and his half court play could be great and complementary to LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, and you can put him perfectly at the power forward spot or at the 4 between Brandon Miller and Mark Williams at the 5. So that's going to be my pick with the Hornets there at 6.
Okay, that's a great pick. Yeah, I think he's pretty much a do-it-all type of talent. And obviously, if his shot turns around, then the ceiling is just that much higher. And having Mark Williams, Matas, Brandon Miller, whoever is at the 2 spot for them, and LaMelo, that's a promising future.
Yeah, new era for them for sure, which is exciting because like the Hornets have been so either irrelevant or bad for so long, and even at their best years with like Kemba Walker, they were just like peaking as like a first round exit.
Yeah, I know. Tough scene for them.
I know.
Now
right?
I guess we're at number 7 with the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Wow. So this team has a lot of guards, plenty full of guards, and sadly in this script right now, Portland Trailblazers fan, I have nothing for you. I cannot fix that opportunity. I cannot fix that problem for you right now. So Anthony Simons is still there. Scoot Henderson's still there, of course. And your recent pick, I forget his name already. I don't know why, the Canadian dude. What's his name again?
Who they took last? The Canadian Shaden Sharp? No.
Yeah, Shaden Sharp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for the Portland Trailblazers, they're kind of in like a okay situation right now. I love the thought of someone like Ron Holland there, but he doesn't fit necessarily perfectly because they're already like pretty swamped with guards. So what they're going to do is kind of shoot a little bit high and go ahead and draft Tristan da Silva.
Oh, okay. I like this.
Great all-around wing. He goes ahead and flies up because of circumstances. Draft night is crazy. We all can sit here and try to predict what's going to happen, but 90% of the time, it just doesn't happen, bro. We're all wrong at the end of the day.
I know.
So why not make myself happy while knowing I'm going to be wrong with picking Tristan da Silva?
Dude, I love this. I've never mocked Tristan da Silva in the top 10, but I am a huge fan of his game. He's a top 15 player for me in this class, and he can do a little bit of everything as well, and he can play multiple positions. And I'm not opposed at all to trying to getting an older guy into the room at number 7 in Portland, because they're developing so many young guys right now. You might as well get someone that can come in and contribute and help their development right away. So I like that. Probably see at 8 with San Antonio, which is interesting for them specifically, just because I just traded for Darius Garland, so Keldon Johnson no longer on this team. We could look to add a wing, but honestly, I'm gonna go best player available here could be Donovan Clingan. That would be an upgrade over Zach Collins in my opinion, and it gives them some insurance with Wemby, so that could be also a possibility as well.
That'd be a nasty defense.
Which would be kind of fun, which I'm going to actually talk myself into doing it. I'm going to go Donovan Clingan here at number 8. You can run some lineups with him out there with Wemby because Wemby can obviously space the floor. And even if it's not working out, you can stagger the minutes. He's an upgrade, like I said, over Zach Collins long term. And he's going to be someone that can help them make the playoffs or at like most probably make the play-in tournament next year. And that's what they're striving for by trading for Garland in this mock and getting a win-now player in Donovan Clingan.
Wow, what a pick, man! I love that for San Antonio. That'd
be hype for them.
Oh my god, bro! If you're not a stretch 5 offense, spread offense, then this team is quite literally going to give you hell, bro.
I know, right?
Man, that makes them unbeatable. Okay, so it leaves me at number 9 with the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a fake lottery team because obviously, they're just not this bad. John Morant, you have to assume he's going to be healthy. Marcus Smart's going to be back. Desmond Bane is looking to make his first All-Star team. This team is going to be absolutely disgusting, but it's clear they have a glaring hole at the 5 position, and you just sniped him away from me and Donovan Clingan. So, the only other bigs that they have available are, I guess, Kyle from Duke, and then also Khalil Ware from Indiana, but that kind of seems like a swing from the fences. It's a pick that's a little bit too high for them to make right now. So at this moment in time, I think the Memphis Grizzlies will go ahead and shore up their depth. They cannot let him fall down any longer. Rob Dillingham, welcome to Memphis. Get ready to speak Memphis, buddy. You're on this team.
No, that's huge for them. Like they need some scorers off the bench for sure, and Dillingham could be that guy. He's like a nice 6-man for them and could play next to Marcus Smart or John Morant at times. And there's been talks about him like falling outside the lottery, which are just criminal. I don't know if that's like him being a clutch guy and trying to get him to a different situation, but Dillingham is like a stud offensively, and Memphis is trying to win the finals next year. Like they have the talent to be right back in the conversation.
Yeah, I love Rob Dillingham. Obviously, like the main selling point with Rob is like his shooting ability and stuff like that, and the main not selling point is his defensive woes, and that is a real issue for him and John Morant. But there's not going to be many situations or scenarios where, like you'd want them to playing together. But whenever John Morant is not on the court, feed those minutes to someone like Rob, because he can play off a Desmond Bane and the Marcus Smarts of the world.
For sure. And yeah, that'd be perfect for him in Memphis. I'm a big fan of that. Which leaves me on the clock for the Jazz at 10. They have a lot of depth on their team right now. Like with Kessler and Markkanen, and then obviously you have like Sexton and Keontae George's like breakout rookie season. Taylor Hendricks, I'm a big fan of. They could make some moves this offseason as well. Still got to figure out what they're doing with Lauri Markkanen. So I kind of like the idea of going maybe a little bit of a longer term play, and that would be either Tijan Salon or Nikola Topic. I think for them though, like I believe they should still re-sign Lauri Markkanen. I hope they do that this offseason because he could still be the franchise guy for the next couple of seasons, and then you figure it out after that. If it doesn't work out, you could still move him. So I'm going to go Nikola Topic here. I'm going to give them a playmaking point guard who may not play a ton in his rookie season with the partial ACL tear, but you're kind of looking more into the long term here. And with like him having great size, a good frame, I think a good looking shot that is going to develop in the league could be a nice spot here at 10. Like arguably a top 3 player in this class, but has fallen because of injury, and they snag him at number 10 to finish out the top 10.
Okay, nice. I like that. I guess that leaves us with the
the Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago
What
Bulls.
are they going to do?
All right, so let's think of the stupidest thing possible. And that's probably what the Chicago Bulls are going to do. Okay, so
run it back.
In this range, like I guess like a Jacoby Walter makes sense. Ron Holland, you could see a world with that, even though there's some like overlapping with Ayu Dosunmu. Cody Williams is not the greatest fit over there at all, I would say. Well, actually, not at all. He's a great fit everywhere, but he's not the ideal fit. So for a team like the Chicago Bulls, I see them looking at Nikola Vucevic and getting kind of sick and tired of him. And they want a new big man, a new reign over there, And with that being said, congratulations, Chicago Bulls fans. Kyle Flipowski is your new starting center.
No, yeah, they get someone that can space the floor, and I think they got to take a big man here at 11. If there's still like Filipowski and Ware and Holmes, they're all on the board. Like they got to get some depth. Drummond may not be on this team next year, and you can't keep rolling out Nikola Vucevic playing 30 plus minutes a night. Like we got to go into a new era in Chicago. But I'm ready for them to run this team back, re-sign DeRozan, keep Levine, keep Caruso, and this team's gonna be the 9th seed again next year. It's the worst spot to be. It is.
It doesn't make sense, but hey, I'm just following what the Bulls do, man.
Dude, it's what they do. It's what they do. So I'm gonna actually have not as big of a trade as the 4th overall pick that we did with Garland going to the Spurs, but I'm gonna do a minor deal here with the OKC Thunder. We know that they have a ton of draft capital and they have a need with some big man help. They need guys that can rebound. So I think they're gonna try to buy low a little bit on. It would be Robert Williams from the Portland Trailblazers, who was out all year last year. You hope he's fully healthy going into 2025. And it's going to be pretty much, they're going to move down 2 spots. They're going to get Robert Williams, and they're going to send Portland a future first-round pick from the Miami Heat. So it's not going to be, it's a lottery protected pick next year. It may not be anything, but it could be, a pick in the 20s, which Portland, they got a lot of big man help. We could take a big man here at 12, who knows? But they're going to get Robert Williams, or OKC's going to get Robert Williams. Are you a fan of that?
I love that trade.
Okay.
I love that trade. But I got the NBA script here, and we are on the same wavelength, just about.
Yeah.
In this NBA script, it says that the Oklahoma City Thunder are definitely making a trade, but with a team in another conference, the Eastern Conference. And over here, it said that they had talks with the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. We all know they were looking at Larry Markin, and all those rumors were there. And apparently, they also had talks with someone else on the Portland Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant. But the rebounding necessarily isn't there. So they definitely chatted with the Washington Wizards. Not sure how far those talks went, but they were heavily interested in Kyle Kuzma and his rebounding ability, since he's naturally the best rebounder compared to Jeremy Grant. Robert Williams was there, but they are focused on keeping their offense 5 out, and obviously Kyle Kuzma provides that. That's what I was told. I'm not making this up. This is the script.
All right, so we're going to reroute basically the 12th overall pick to Washington for Kyle Kuzma.
Woj? I think that's true.
I'm trying to think here. Is there a way we can orchestrate a 3-team deal when OKC ends up with Kuzma and Robert Williams?
Kuzma and Robert
Williams. They got the cap space to take them both on, and they got the picks to do so. And could we route Josh Giddey to Washington?
I like the way you think. Because Washington has literally nothing to lose. Who are they to turn down talent?
Exactly, right? They need a point guard. We took Reese Ashe. They got to get someone that can get these guys the ball, and who knows if it's Tyus Jones. And Giddey may need a new change of scenery.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not Washington, then I think he should be out of the league. So let's make it Washington.
All right, let's go. So we're gonna orchestrate a 3-team trade. I love this, man. So OKC is gonna get Kuzma and Robert Williams. Washington's gonna get Josh Giddey and pick 14, which is really good value, and Portland's gonna get 12 and a future Heat first. I think we just did something great for all 3 of these teams.
I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a Wizards fan, knowing that Kyle Kuzma really has no future and he's not going to be able to do anything productive other than make Wizards basketball more watchable, I'm actually happy with Josh Giddey because he can alleviate some type of stress from Jordan Poole. Two completely different play styles. Josh Giddey is obviously an orchestrator, and Jordan Poole can orchestrate at times, but he tends to play at 1,000,000 hours per hour. I actually like that.
Yeah, definitely. And Kuzma can replace the Gordon Hayward minutes and be a massive upgrade there. You get the rebounding and time lord that doesn't cost you too much. And now you can give a larger role to Isaiah Joe and Kaysen Wallace and Aaron Wiggins next year. And then I think it's a win-win all around.
This is a win-win.
So I think at 12, I think with you going to Silva earlier, we can go a little bit more upside here at number 12 with the Portland Trailblazers, and the Wizards will be picking at 14. And there's a lot of upside plays here. There's Sejan Salon, there's Ron Holland, there's Cody Williams. And I'm kind of down to just get all the Colorado players going to Portland here. So I'm going to go Cody Williams. They get another wing with, I think, defensive play right away with his length. And he's someone that if his shot is consistent enough from what it was last year, if he gets more aggressive at attacking the rim, him and De Silva could be a nice forward combo or just kind of playing with each other going forward. So that's a massive 3-team trade that goes down. And that's going to put you on the clock with the Kings at 13.
Ooh, okay. So the Sacramento Kings at 13. Right now, they are in an interesting spot in their development over the last few years. Of course, we've all known the Kings to be some of the best losers in the NBA. One of the best to do it in the last 15, 20 years or so. It's had literally no success. But over the past few years, they found a new identity. Mike Brown, De'Aaron Fox, and the new Sabonis addition has changed the trajectory of their organization. And now they're actually competent. But they took a step back because they remained complacent and just thought the development of Keegan Murray would, take them up a couple of notches in the generational Western Conference that we're witnessing right now. So, with that being said, they need real change. And now that it's looking like Malik Monk is going to get a massive bag thrown at him, they need another guard at that spot. And with that being said, Jacoby Walter, you are a bucket getter, and they are going to lose a bucket getter. Let's not do mental gymnastics. Congratulations, you are a Sacramento King.
There we go. That's what they need. I think he's going to be a good shooter right away. He's got the athleticism defensively, and now you got some really good defenders in Sacramento with him and Keon Ellis. And if they keep Davion Mitchell, I'm a fan of that. So this would be the Washington Wizards picking here with this pick because of the 3-team trade. So we're just going to send that over to Washington.
Great.
Yeah, so Washington gets Josh Giddey and pick 14 for Kyle Kuzma, which I think is really good value. And Kuzma's got a good contract, so that could be an appealing offer out there. And OKC doesn't have to add another rookie to this team. So 14, we already got Reese Ashe, we got Josh Giddey. I think we can go another high upside play here. Dude, I'm low-key interested about Zach Edey here at 14 because I do think he's going to go higher than we think. And that could be the guy for them. But you know what? I think I like Kel'el Ware a little bit more out of Indiana. So they're going to anchor in the big man. Massive upgrade over Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. Can space the floor and could be just an athletic freak on the defensive end of the floor. And we just hit a bunch of holes. I did a high-end wing with Reese Ashe. We get a point guard to facilitating Giddey, and we get a big man in Kel'el Ware. Honestly, Wizards fans got to love this mock for us right now.
Wow. I can't believe you just reminded me how pitiful their big man rotation is.
So bad.
Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. Wow.
Yeah.
God, all right. I can't believe that like literally happened this year. Wow.
I know.
Okay. Okay, so it leaves me with the 15th overall pick in this draft. And according to the script, we have another trade.
Here we
Miami
go.
Heat. I don't want to say that had a disappointing season, but the season didn't leave a great taste in their mouth. So with that being said, the Chicago Bulls hit up. Oh, my bad. Look at me leaking my own stuff. The Miami Heat hit up the Chicago Bulls. Actually, I lied. They hit up the New York Knicks because there's gonna be some movement going on here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do the Knicks have multiple picks in this year's draft?
They do. They got 24 and 25.
The Miami Heat are sliding back to get 24 and 25, and the New York Knicks are jumping forward to 15. Now, back end of this trade doesn't really affect this draft necessarily, but the Miami Heat just landed the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine.
Oh, so
They
this
just
is
landed Zach LaVine.
Okay.
This is a three-team trade. Three-team trade. So Miami only moved back for the sake of collecting multiple picks to go ahead and land Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls now have 24 and 25.
Okay.
And it's looking like the New York Knicks now have pick 15. And the Miami Heat aren't picking at all in this draft anymore.
So do we gotta... Oh, dude, I like the idea of Zach LaVine. He's an upgrade. Do we want to send... Do we have to send matching salary to Chicago? Do we gotta send them like Hero or Terry Rozier, you think, or Duncan Robinson?
It's potentially looking like Hero is on the way.
Hero's on his way to Chicago. I like that, dude, for him. I do. Change of scenery. He gets to kind of like orchestrate that offense with Kobe White. And and LaVine is better than Tyler Hero 100%. So this is a nice move for Miami.
Absolutely. It's a pretty much win-win overall. But I guess that also leaves us with the New York Knicks and them moving up to 15. Shockingly, this team that was pretty much on the cusp of making the Eastern Conference Finals. And you know what the New York Knicks are. You're from New York, even though you don't really claim them, and you're really a Philadelphia 76ers guy. So you've been through the tough grit and grind. You know what they're about. Who's the grittiest and grindiest player that's left around this range?
Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be?
Eyes right now.
Is it Devin Carter? Is it Ron Holland?
Devin Carter.
Devin Carter.
Congratulations. You are a New York Knick. He's 6'3", 6'4", massive wingspan, so he plays much larger than he actually is height-wise. And whenever Jalen Brunson isn't on the court, which is probably going to be like for 6 minutes a game, considering how much of a lunatic Tom Thibodeau is, Devin Carter, then you have your two Josh Hart, then you have Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. That is their core guard play throughout the entirety of this new New York Knicks era. It's fantastic.
Love this 3-team trade. And funny enough, like, you would not know this, but I'm diehard Knicks fan. It's funny you call me like Sixers fans because I do live in Philly, so you would think that. Yeah. Dude, as a Knicks fan, like, Devin Carter is the dream. If they could move up and get him someone that just adds to the DiVincenzos, the Josh Harts that are going to get rebounds, hustle on defense, and he's going to hit some big time shots, like, sign me up for this as a Knicks fan. I would love that so much.
Wow, man. Yeah, I'm happy to go ahead and fulfill your dreams as a Knicks fan.
There we go. So that means Chicago will be picking at 24 and 25. Philly's on the clock at 16, and this would be really good for them. There's some great options, but I got to stop the slide of Ron Holland. They need some perimeter defenders. Arguably, like, Kelly Oubre was maybe their best perimeter defender at times next year. They can get an upgrade in Ron Holland right away. And in my opinion, the most athletic player in this draft. So that is, I think, a steal for Ron Holland. And now in mocks, like, he's kind of going around this range now. So that is a realistic situation for Holland now in Philly, which is wild.
I agree. I absolutely love that fit with him. He's a complete opposite of what the Philadelphia 76ers have and prize and what they appreciate for Tyrese Maxey, which is his spacing, ability to create, and all this other stuff. Ron Holland's not necessarily that. He's an absolute dog defensively, can get downhill, and he's one of the more athletic players. I love this for Philadelphia.
Definitely. Should I lock in Bronny James for you here at 17?
Bronny James. Oh,
Bronny
man.
James at 17.
So at 17, the Los Angeles Lakers are in a very particular spot. This player probably will not get too much playing time. If he was a guard. Thankfully, he's not, and this is why Zach Edey, congratulations, Rob Pelinka is calling your phone right now. LeBron James is hugging your big ass right now. You are a Los Angeles Laker.
Dude, that would be crazy because they talked about moving Edey back to the 4, throwing Edey at the 5. I mean, you're not scoring in the paint on those two.
You can't. You're not scoring at all. Now, it's just iffy because, like, although Anthony Davis would be like, seeing him at the 4 again would bring back memories and all this other stuff, but the memories wouldn't be good because AD's shot has regressed tremendously and he's not like, the shooter that he once was. But they're looking towards the future with this pick, and also it's LA. They like clout, and Zach Edey's name just has a lot of that.
Definitely. And like LeBron doesn't have many years left, so Edey way more NBA ready than some of these other guys for sure. I'm gonna go Jared McCain at 18 for the Orlando Magic. They need shooting, and they're getting one of the best shooters. He's up there in this class and can help them out right away. Can play the 1, can play the 2, which I think is a dream for Orlando to get him at 18.
Wow. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that pick for them. Okay, so that leaves me with Toronto. Okay, so looking at the Toronto Raptors right now, Scottie Barnes is obviously the face of the franchise. Then you recently traded for Emmanuel Quickly, who performed pretty well. Wasn't like he didn't like blow your socks off necessarily, but like he fulfilled expectations and all that. But with that being said, I do not think you can let someone like Isaiah Collier fly by your watch. I think me personally, in terms of just like overall like draft prospects, I have him close to like top 10, maybe even 8 range. But with the predicament that we're given, the Toronto Raptors see him, and Masai Ujiri is in love and enamored with his potential, and they go ahead and select this 6'4", feels like he's 6'5" to me, the 6'4" point guard, and Isaiah Collier.
Yeah, dude, he plays up, and for me too, I think he's like my 10th ranked or 11th ranked prospect, and getting him at 19, great value, and he could play next to Quickly, which would get me excited for sure as a Raptors fan. So that puts me on the clock at 20 for the Cavs. I already did a deal with them, getting Stephon Castle at 4 because they moved Garland. They have Keldon Johnson now, a little bit more draft capital. So I think they're going to take a swing for the fences here, and they're going to go with T. Salon, the high upside play here at 20. Maybe he can play, like, there's an idea this offseason they can move Allen. Mobley's a center, and he could be someone that could space the floor next to Evan Mobley in that front court. And I think they got to just try to go a little bit more upside there at 20 and hope he could be a long-term starter in a couple of years rather than someone that's just maybe like a solid role player at 20.
Okay, I love that pick for them. That leaves me with number 21, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, they just made a massive overhaul. Reed Shepherd is their starting point guard for the future. Or would they rather let him compete for that spot and select Carlton and have him go ahead and duke it out for that starting point guard spot? I love this pick for them at number 21.
Dude, I love that too, because now you can have him and Shepherd in the backcourt. And I was going to have a team trade up with the Suns at 22 for him. So you just sniped it. I was trying to pair him up with Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. So that leaves me.
Man, that would have been so fire. That's what Minnesota needs, man.
Exactly. Like the Mike Conley successor, like someone that just matches Anthony Edwards' energy, his motor, and then just having a dog next to him would be sick going forward.
Yeah, I love Mike Conley, but they definitely need another punch offensively.
For sure. So that puts me at 22 with the Phoenix Suns. They could go Bronny James at this point for all I know. I don't know what they're doing. I'm going to have them go Tyler Kolek out of Marquette. He's been linked to them, and he's someone that can allow Booker to play more off-ball again, Beal off-ball, KD obviously off-ball, and he can just get them the ball. That's going to be his job, get them the rock next year. He's on the older side, so he can contribute for them in the playoffs as they're trying to win a title in the KD Suns era, which has not gone to plan so far.
Okay, I like that pick. Tyler Kolek's a great player, and I like that fit. I have a feeling that they're probably going to want to trade this pick because
I think so
Matt
too.
Ishbia is just out of his body, experiencing control for the first time.
I know, right?
Control of an NBA team specifically. But yeah, that's kind of, I like that trick. I like that. I like that pick. All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks, they are in a very particular situation. They have little to no talent coming off of the bench for them. They have, of course, like Bobby Portis, great player. Malik Beasley has been playing off the bench for them towards the end of the season with Doc Rivers starting. So I think right now they need someone who's seasoned, someone who's been through it, whether it be, you know, like on-court trials and tribulations or off-court trials and tribulations. So that's why the 24-year-old, soon to be 24-year-old Terrence Shannon Jr., explosive guard. He gets an abundance of buckets in a myriad of ways. Welcome to the Milwaukee Bucks. I love his fit alongside Giannis, alongside Dame. Of course, like, he potentially could be, best case scenario, the successor of Chris Middleton. His health over the years has been so up and down. You never know what you're going to get out of him these days. So Terrence Shannon Jr., I love your fit with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody on the older side can come in right away and score for them off the bench. Definitely what they need for sure. So that's going to put, I believe, we're going to have the first of the Chicago Bulls picks because that was part of the 3-team trade. So the Bulls are going to be picking at 24 and 25. This team has traded Zach LaVine to Miami. They're going in a new direction. We got Kyle Filipowski at 11 to play with Nikola Vucevic at the front court position. So for them, I think I'm going to look for also another upside play, and I'm going to draft Tyler Smith at 24. We're going to be able to both grab Bulls guys for them. Smith can play multiple positions. He can space the floor, and he can rim protect a little bit. Definitely needs to work on it, but gives them, I think, a high upside, versatile forward at 24 for Chicago and their long-term plans, as we're now entering a rebuild with Tyler Hero and moving on from kind of some of those older guys there.
Okay, I like that a lot. Wow. So the Chicago Bulls, again, here they are, pick 25. We talked about it earlier. They do things that just don't make any sense. And according to the script that I have in my hand right now, they're picking Bronny James. Wow. Chicago, just wow.
Wait, who are you having them take?
Bronny James. Wow.
Oh, no, you said Bronny.
Yeah. Wow. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. Words. The script has said it.
It's set. It's set. It is what it is. I am in shock just like the rest of you guys watching this video.
Dude, this script, out of control. Who did they hire for these scripts next year? This is crazy. Are they getting LeBron? Is LeBron going to Chicago?
That would be the worst thing to ever happen. I would hate that. The NBA gods cannot let that happen, bro.
Oh my God. LeBron playing in the same jersey Jordan is up there in the Raptors with. Oh my God.
That would be the ultimate troll.
It would be wild. So the Wizards have had a great draft. They've ended up with Josh Giddey. We got Reese Shea. We got Khalil Ware at 26. I'm going to go, I think we're going to just get, oh man, for them, who do I like here? Let's just get another big man for them. Let's just get 2 in this draft. I like either Deron Holmes or Yves Missi here. I'm going to go Yves Missi out of Baylor, just getting an athletic freak that can rim run, catch lobs, and he can actually run a pick and roll with Josh Giddey, their new point guard next year. We just got to get out of the Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley center duo. Just got to get some young bloods in there now.
Wow. Okay, I love that. Okay, so that leaves me with the 27th overall pick belonging to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if we watch them over the last few weeks before they got eliminated by the Dallas Mavericks, it's obvious as day, like, they need another scoring punch. And one of the best bucket getters right now available is Baylor Sherman. Is that his name?
Shireman, yeah.
Or is it Sherman?
Shireman.
Not 100% sure, but
yeah.
Baylor, congratulations. You are going to be a Minnesota Timberwolf.
Yeah, dude, I like this a ton because they need, I think, shooting off the bench. Like, yes, like, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great. Kyle Anderson, good at times. But, like, these guys are inconsistent shooters sometimes. So you're getting someone that's one of the better shooters in this class and can kind of, like, play make a little bit. He can run pick and rolls. He can pass. So I like that a ton for them.
Yeah, has some great size to him as well. And
yeah.
I think he can play alongside all these guys day one.
So now, with Johnny Furphy still on the board, I kind of want a team maybe to trade up with Denver that's looking for some shooting. Brooklyn's got no picks. I don't know, man. I don't think they're getting in here.
Brooklyn are broke boys.
They really are, man. It's a rough time for them. I think maybe Charlotte could look for some shooting, but would they want to dish out a first-round pick? The Knicks got some picks as well. They got Devin Carter. The Knicks need some shooters as well. So I know that the Knicks, they have 38 via Utah, but they also have some other future first-round picks as well from like Washington and Detroit. So the Knicks are going to send 38 and a future first for 28 to go up and select Johnny Furphy out of Kansas. They need some shooting off the bench, and they end up with Devin Carter and Johnny Furphy in this draft. I would be very happy as a Knicks fan if that ended up happening.
Nah, that is a home run of a draft. Holy shit, I love that, man. I love that. Wow. Okay. So rolling at number 28 are the Denver Nuggets. And they're in really like the vision, there's really no vision for their organization just yet. Of course, they have solid building blocks in Lauri Markkanen, who probably is going to get re-signed, and Walker Kessler, of course. Someone who right now I believe best fits the team construction-wise and helps build more of an identity, I believe, is Ryan Dunn. I like his fit alongside Walker and Lauri Markkanen because of Lauri's flexibility. I would look past by all the shooting roles that Ryan has, because you have explosive creators already in or potential future explosive creators in Keontae George. Colin Sexton is there as well. So I feel pretty good about building this menacing defensive front court of Ryan Dunn and Walker Kessler.
Yeah, you're getting the best defender in this draft at 29. That's great value for them next year. And we got, it's always tough with like the 30th pick. We got the defending or the reigning NBA champions, the Boston Celtics. Obviously, they could use a couple more guys on their bench. I think, need some big man insurance. Horford getting up there in age. Kristaps always has the injury concerns with him. So I'm going to snag them. De'Ron Holmes at number 30. Can space the floor a little bit, but could also be some good big man depth for them going forward. And man, that was the script for the 2024 NBA draft. Kind of a crazy one.
Yeah, I mean, wow, I love the way we ended it. The Boston Celtics, god damn it, they can't keep on winning like this.
I know.
The NBA scriptwriters, I'm not feeling good about this, but it is what happened, and I feel pretty good about the outcome. Really entertaining if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that's a good draft as well. I'll help out the ratings for sure. And yeah, that is going to wrap out our 2024 NBA mock draft. Make sure you check out Mo and his pod and all that stuff in the description. You can check him out. And thank you guys all for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.